Alrighty, folks, we're going to get to our viewer shout outs in just a second, but you already know the deal. I feel great. It's a Sunday morning. We won another chairman play yesterday on my website. Had the Bo Sox minus 1.5 on the run line. And of course, they blasted the A's by the final of 10-3. They were actually up 9-1 after the fifth inning. So kind of a no sweater there. Starting pitcher James Paxton, he allowed just 2 earned runs. Christian Arroyo, he went 3 for 4 at the dish. Now that winning play is going to put us at 6-1 in our last 7 chairman plays, 10-2 in our last dozen, and 23-7 in our last 30 chairman plays on my website. Good for 77% in that particular category. It's been an incredible run. If you're not on board, I don't know what you're waiting for. And of course, my chairman package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. We actually cashed in on 3 total winners yesterday in all of my plays on my site. But if for some reason you don't need access to multiple plays a day and you only just want one play and you want it for cheap, well, I got a membership for you as well. It's called My Daily Best Play. My Daily Best Play gives you access to one of my personal plays every single day for the next 30 days. It's only going to cost you just $1.99. And with that, folks, we're going to go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. Shout out to Charles UK, who said, "I'm new here, let's go." Shout out to Hernandez Accounting, who said, "Another great show." And then finally, shout out to Alex Gonzalez, who said, "You should start off by saying, like usual, my daily play and extra daily pick went 1 of 2. You have yet to hit both picks since I joined more than 10 days ago. Therefore, all I've done is lose juice money with your picks." And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Rangers at the Nationals, 12:05 Eastern first pitch. Texas is minus 210, total is 10. Texas minus 210, total 10. Dane Dunning for the Rangers, Patrick Corbin for Washington. Now, Corbin's got double-digit losses on the year with an ERA in the 5s. Meanwhile, as a team, there we go, straighten this out a little bit. Felt like I was off center. As a team, the Nats lost 5 out of their last 6, and they've had a tough time getting the W at home this year. The Nats are currently just 14-32 this season at Nationals Park. Good for a win percentage of just .304. Now they're facing a Rangers lineup who still leads the league in scoring and hits. Adolis Garcia, he's the league leader in RBI, 3.3 WAR. Meanwhile, Corey Seager is hitting .355 with an OPS in the thousands. And even if the Rangers struggle at the dish, they've got Dane Dunning on the mound, and he's been spectacular. The righty's 8-1 with an ERA in the 2s. Brad Miller is still out for Texas. Robles and Pineda still inactive for Washington. The Nats are 8-5 to the over in their last 13 interleague home games. The Rangers are 64% to the over against National League opponents. Give me the Rangers minus 1.5, over 10. Next game, Cubs, Yankees, 135 East. The New York Yankees are minus 135, totals 8.5. Domingo Germán for New York, Kyle Hendricks for Chicago. Now, 6 out of Chicago's last 10 gatherings with the Yankees did fall under the total. The Yankees have also seen a good amount of unders against National League opponents this year. They're 64% to the under in their interleague home games. They're also 14-8 to the under in all of their contests against the National League. And when it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my board member tier package play on my website. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, give me the under 8.5. Next ball game, A's Red Sox, 135 East. Boston's minus $1.75, totals 9.5. Taylor Scott for Boston, J.P. Sears for Oakland. And out of 94-plus innings, the lefty J.P. Sears has only 1 win. He's 1-6 on the season with an ERA in the 4s. And even if Sears has a good outing here today, probably not going to get the run support he needs. The A's are dead last in run production and hits. They're facing a Bo Sox team who's really starting to heat up right now. They won 7 out of their last 8, and they've been pounding the baseball at Fenway this year. The Red Sox currently lead the majors right now in hits per game at home. Jarren Duran's hitting .319 and has 17 stolen bases. Had a huge game yesterday, by the way. Meanwhile, Rafi Devers, he has the 4th highest RBI in the majors. Pablo Reyes is still out for Boston. Astori Ruiz out for Oakland. 4 out of the A's last 5 road games got over the total. They also went 9-1 of the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Red Sox -175, over 9.5. Next ball game, Rays, Braves, 1:40 p.m. East. It's actually the Braves at the Rays. Tampa Bay's -$120, totals 8.5. Zach Eflin for Tampa Bay, Bryce Elder for Atlanta. Now, out of 102-plus innings, the righty Elder's recorded only 1 loss. He's 7-1 with an ERA in the 2s. And even if Elder stinks, the Braves have arguably the most dangerous lineup of hitters in the game. They're scoring more runs per 9 on the road than any other roster in baseball. Ronald Acuna has the 2nd highest batting average and OPS average in the majors. Meanwhile, Matt Olson leads the National League in home runs and runs batted in. Now they're facing a struggling Rays team who lost 7 straight. And offensively, they've just been downright bad during that stretch. The Rays have been held to just 2.4 runs a game during that losing streak. And as good as Zach Eflin's been this season, the Rays did take the loss in 3 out of Eflin's last 5 starts. Josh Lowe's out for Tampa. 4 out of the Rays' last 5 at the Trop stayed under. The Braves are 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Give me Atlanta +$1, under 8.5. Next ball game, Royals, Guardians, 1:40 p.m. East. Cleveland's -240, totals 8.5. Shane Bieber for Cleveland, Ryan Yarbrough for Kansas City. Now, Yarbs is just 1-4 in the year with an ERA of 6.15. And even if Yarbrough has a good showing, these Kansas City batters can't hit for shit. They're dead last in hits per 9 on the road. They're facing Shane Bieber, who's got 89 strikeouts and an ERA in the 3s. Meanwhile, as a team, the Guardians got the W in 6 out of their last 8. Josh Naylor's got the 10th highest batting average in the majors, top 5 in runs batted in. Meanwhile, Jose Ramirez leads the club in OPS and wins above replacement. Edward Olivares is questionable for Kansas City. 4 out of Cleveland's last 6 at Progressive Field stayed under the total. And out of 25 total divisional contests this year, the under cashed 20 times for Cleveland. Give me the Guardians -1.5, under 8.5 runs in the tight window. Next ball game, Phillies, Marlins, 1:40 p.m. East. Miami's the $1.20 favorite, total 7.5. Jesus Luzardo for Miami, Aaron Nola for Philadelphia. And despite some decent numbers, Nola's he's given up his fair share of runs this season. Nola actually comes into today's matchup with an ERA of 4.30. These Phillies pitchers do tend to struggle on the road. They're in the bottom 5 in the National League in hits allowed while traveling. They're facing a Marlins team who does a nice job getting base runners. They're a top 5 hit-producing lineup at home. Luis Arraez leads the majors in batting average. Jorge Soler's got the 6th most home runs in the bigs. And even if the Marlins struggle at the dish, lefty Jesus Luzardo, he's been real good. He's got 7 wins and 120 strikeouts. Now, no real surprise here, folks. Luzardo's got an ERA in the low 3s, along with a 1.16 whip. Jazz Chisholm's still out for Miami. Bryce Harper questionable for the Phils. Philadelphia went 60% to the under in their last 10. They're also 61% to the under against the NL East. Give me Miami -$120, under 7.5. Next matchup, Blue Jays Tigers, 1:40 p.m. East. Toronto's -$1.25, totals 8.5. Chris Bassett for Toronto, Tarek Skubal for Detroit. Now, the Tigers are coming fresh off a combined no-hitter yesterday against the Blue Jays. Having said that, though, I don't think lightning's going to strike twice, especially considering the Blue Jays average more hits per nine on the road than most rosters in the league. Actually, they are, I think they're leading. If not, they're amongst the league leaders in hits per nine on the road, at least in the top three. Now, Bo Bichette's got 122 hits on this season, fourth highest batting average in the bigs. Meanwhile, Vlad Guerrero leads the roster in runs batted in. Now, they're facing a Detroit team who averages fewer runs per nine than most clubs in the league. They actually have a bottom three run-producing lineup. And in their last 10 meetings with Toronto, the Tigers have been held to just 2.4 runs a game. Now, no real surprise here, folks. 8 out of those 10 meetings I just mentioned did fall under the number. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Now, Toronto went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Blue Jays minus -1/4, under 8.5. Next matchup, O's Twins, 2:10 Eastern start time. Minnesota's -155, totals 8.5. Joe Ryan for Minnesota, Kyle Gibson for Baltimore. Now, Gibby's got a handful of losses along with an ERA close to 5. Now, to Gibson's last 6 starts, the Orioles got the W only one time. Their pitching staff's in the bottom 5 in the American League in hits allowed per contest. They're facing a Minnesota team who does play their best baseball at Target Field. The pitching staff's giving up fewer runs per contest than any other team in baseball. And starting pitcher Joe Ryan's certainly been no exception. The righty struck out 114 batters and has a .98 whip. Now, injury-wise, Polanco, Gordon, and Lewis are still out for the Twins. Meanwhile, for Baltimore, Ryan Mountcastle's still out for them. 3 out of Baltimore's last 4 ball games fell under the total. Meanwhile, Minnesota went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Give me the Twins -155, under 8.5. Next ball game, Reds Brewers, 2:10 Eastern start time. Milwaukee is, where's it at? Come on. Milwaukee's -120, totals 9. Wade Miley for Milwaukee, Ben Lively for Cincinnati. Now, Lively has a handful of wins, and he averages a strikeout an inning. He's also got a 1.26 whip, and he does not have a losing record despite a couple rough outings. As a matter of fact, the Reds got the W in 4 out of Lively's last 6 starts. And of course, a lot of that is thanks to some timely hitting, since he's got a top 5 run-producing lineup in the major leagues. Ellie De La Cruz is hitting .328 with 16 stolen bases. Meanwhile, TJ Friedel's hitting .307 with 16 stolen bases himself. Now, they're taking on a Brewers club who lost 3 out of their last 5. When it comes to hitting the baseball, well, these guys just don't do it much. They're a bottom 3 hit-producing lineup in the majors. Rowdy Tellez is still out for the Brewers. Tyrone Taylor is still inactive as well. 5 out of Milwaukee's last 6 at home did get over the total. Cincinnati went 70% to the over in their last 10. Give me the Reds +$1, over 9. Next ball game, Mariners Astros, 2:10 Eastern start time. Seattle's -1.25, totals 8. Logan Gilbert for the Mariners, Brandon Bielak for Houston. Now, the Astros have given Bielak little run support this year. They've averaged under 3.4 runs a game in their Bielak starts this season. The righty's also got a 1.51 whip, and he does not have a winning record. Now, when it comes to offensive production, the Stros are a bottom 10 hit-producing team at home. They're facing Logan Gilbert, who's got 100 strikeouts and a 1.02 whip. Meanwhile, as a team, the M's have played some pretty good baseball recently. They got the W in 6 out of their last 8, and they've had little issue producing runs in those victories. Julio Rodriguez has the most hits on the roster, and Eugenio Suarez, he has the most RBI. Altuve and Alvarez are still out for the Astros. 6 out of Houston's last 10 outings did fall under the total. Meanwhile, Seattle went 4-2 to the under in their last 6 on the road. Give me the Mariners -1.25, under 8. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Cardinals at the White Sox, 2:10 Eastern start time. Now, the Chicago White Sox are -1.25 at home, totals 9 runs. Lucas Giolito for Chicago. Steven Matz for St. Louis. 4 out of the Cards' last 6 road games did get over the total. They also went 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. Now the White Sox on the other side, they saw the over cash in 6 out of their last 10. When it comes to selecting a winner in this one, there's a couple of conflicting factors that do make this one tough to handicap. For St. Louis, they've got a slew of hitters that can really pound the baseball. Meanwhile, for Chicago, their starter, Lucas Giolito, he's got a low whip and a bunch of strikeouts. So if you want to see whether I like the White Sox getting the job done at home, or if I like the Cards catching plus money on the road, well, this game's being featured as my extra daily bet on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. My extra daily bet costs just $2.99 for 30 days of service. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to my daily best play every single day for the next 30 days. Absolutely free. It's going to be included with your purchase. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, give me the over 9. Next matchup, Rockies, Giants, 4:05 Eastern first pitch. San Francisco's minus 265, totals 8 runs. Logan Webb for the Giants, Kyle Freeland for Colorado. Now Freeland's just 1 loss shy of double digits for the year already. The lefty's got a high 1.44 whip. He's got an ERA just about in the 5s. And even if Freeland throws well today, these Rockies hitters have certainly stunk it up on the road. They score fewer runs per game away from home than any other lineup in baseball. They got to face Logan Webb, who struck out 117 batters himself. He has a solid 1.14 whip. Meanwhile, at the plate, the Giants are still a top 10 run-producing team. Brandon Crawford's questionable. Tyro Estrada's still out. Meanwhile, for the Rockies on the other side, Charlie Blackmon's still on the IL. Now, 3 out of the Rockies' last 4 road games did fall under the total. San Francisco went 8-2 to the under in their last 10. Give me the Giants minus 1.5, under 8 runs. Next ball game, Mets Padres, 4:10 Eastern start time. San Diego's minus $1.25, totals 8 runs. Joe Musgrove for San Diego, Max Scherzer for New York. And I'll tell you what, anytime you can catch plus money with Max Scherzer on the bump, you may want to take advantage of it. He's 8-2 on the year with 94 strikeouts. Meanwhile, as a team, the Mets won 6 out of their last 7. They scored a whole bunch of runs in the process. Pete Alonso's 3rd in the bigs in home runs, 10th in RBI. Meanwhile, Francisco Lindor's got 60 runs batted in on the season himself. And he's got a wins above replacement of 3.5. They're facing a Padres team on the other side who's got a losing home record against National League opponents. When it comes to offensive production, this is a bottom 5 hit-producing lineup. Hae-Sung Kim is questionable for San Diego. 4 out of the Pods' last 5 at Petco Park got over the total. They also went 80% to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give the Mets plus 105, over 8. With that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup for the video. It's going to be in that Pirates-D-backs game, 4:10 Eastern start time. Arizona's minus 155, totals 9.5. Zach Davies for Arizona, Carmen Mlazinski for Pittsburgh. And out of just a handful of innings, Mlazinski's looked pretty good. He's got a 2.61 ERA and a 1.06 whip. That's slightly under 11 innings of work. These Pirates pitchers, they've got a lot of strikeouts on the road this year. They're a top 10 strikeout team on the bump while traveling. When it comes to cashing in on the run line, the Pirates have a winning record against the run line while taking on National League opponents. They're taking on a D-backs team who failed to cover in 4 out of their last 7 home games. These Arizona pitchers are also in the bottom 10 in hits allowed. And starting pitcher Zach Davies, he's been no exception to that this season. The righty's just 1-4 with an ERA of 6.52. Now, injury-wise, Bay, McCutchen, and Hayes are all still out for Pittsburgh. The Pirates saw 7 out of their last 10 ball games get over the total. They're also 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Arizona. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Give me the Pirates plus 1.5, over 9.5 runs. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Texas Rangers minus 1.5, over 10. I like the under 8.5 in the Cubs-Yankees game. Boston Red Sox minus 175, over 9.5. I'm hitting at 77%. My last 30 chairman plays on my website. Atlanta Braves plus $1, under 8.5. Cleveland Guardians minus 1.5, under 8.5. Miami Marlins minus $1.20, under 7.5 runs. Toronto Blue Jays minus $1.25, under 8.5. Minnesota Twins minus 155, under 8.5 runs. Cincinnati Reds plus $1, over 9. Seattle minus $1.25, under 8. Give me the over 9 runs in the Cardinals-White Sox game. San Francisco minus 1.5, under 8. New York Mets plus 105, over 8 runs. With my next and final free pick, give me Pittsburgh plus 1.5, over 9.5 runs. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. And one final just friendly reminder here. If you do sign up for a membership on my website here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, guys, you're also going to get access to my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman membership, it's a full access, all-inclusive package. It gives you access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, guys, you also get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.